Alrighty, we are live right now, and I want to know with everyone that is in here that is joining us, we're gonna give it a few minutes as we do every week for everyone to come in. I want to know where you guys are right now. What city are you guys in? Maybe what country you're in. I know I was on Instagram Live earlier. There was a few people that said they were from United Kingdom. We got. I may need to reschedule. Well, Joe, we're not rescheduling, so that is.
Honestly, we don't even know the next time we may do this. Like, this might be the last one of the year.
We got Christmas coming up. Ricardo, these are live. These are not recorded. These are always live. These are in real time. They are not recorded. Recordings, man. If everything was recorded. Okay, we got Austin, Texas. Shout out to Austin, Texas. Florida, Miami. Joe, that makes sense that you might need to reschedule out there in sunny Miami right now. California, Miami, but you're in Denver, so definitely two different things. Also,
shout out to Woodinville, Washington.
Cambodia, Toronto, Ontario, San Francisco, Mexico. Mike, you visiting Mexico? A lot of Austin, Texas. Man, that's LA. I'm in LA right now. So this is Skip. Skip's always in there for Washington. Detroit, Grand Rapids. Awesome, guys. Well, we got an exciting one tonight. Like I said, it's going to be about an hour. We're going to give it a few minutes for every Dartmouth, Massachusetts. Nice. Josh and I are going to be in Massachusetts in a few weeks for the holidays. Once we get going, we're gonna roll through. If you guys have any questions, make sure to put them in the Q&A tab. We always do a live Q&A at the very, very end. So any of your questions, drop them in that Q&A tab, and we're gonna go ahead and get those answered at the very end here. So just gonna give it another about a mile. Rafut wants to learn to fly first class like us. I mean, absolutely, man. That's why you're here. That's why everyone is here, right? We're learning how to travel during one of the most expensive times of the season right now. So I think we can go ahead and get this thing started. You guys ready to get started? If you guys are ready to get started, just put like a thumbs up or a 1 in the chat. Usually we give it about 5 minutes, but you guys look ready. All right, there you go. Okay, awesome. You guys are ready to go. Beautiful. Josh, I'm going to get this thing going. Start presentation. Start. Beautiful. Now, can everyone give me another like a number 2 in the chat if you can see my screen? If you can see my screen, just put like a 2 in the chat. I just need to see like at least one person put it. Okay, Ricardo, 100 in there. If you can see my screen, just put a 2. Okay, perfect. So wanted to make sure we're not dealing with no technical difficulties before I start talking. So on today's training, guys, we're going to be teaching you guys how to travel to the most beautiful destinations in the world for less than the price of a dinner date, all without booking low-quality experiences like Spirit Airlines or staying at overcrowded hostels. And so what I want to ask you guys, right, is this training worth your time? Now, I know it's worth your time, but I want to give you an idea of some of the people that have been on this call prior and see the results that they're getting, right? We have this person in the top left who has saved over $10,000. We have Naveen, who's gotten multiple free cruises. We have Jose, who's gotten multiple free cruises. Justin, who's literally saved thousands of dollars travel hacking his wedding. And these are all people that have literally been on this exact same training today in the results that they've gotten. And so what you guys are going to learn is, number 1, how we started earning thousands of dollars every single year to travel with literally zero effort. Number 2, how we went from flying Spirit and Frontier to getting first class flights in luxury resorts for completely free. And number 3, how to book your next vacation for pennies on the dollar or completely free with about 20 minutes of work. And by the end of today's class, many of you guys, just like the people you just saw, are going to be able to book that first experience. And so if you have questions, like I mentioned prior, drop them into the Q&A section, because at the very end of this class, like we do every single week, we will have a live Q&A to make sure that you all leave here today with clarity. And so our promise to you guys is that all the claims that we're going to be talking about in today's training are extensively backed by our results, our student results, and it can be achieved by absolutely anybody. This isn't about learning how to book your next vacation for free, but learning how to get free trips for an entire lifetime, right? We want to be able to do this multiple times. And so what you are about to learn today is 100% financially responsible. And so I want to ask you guys, right? How many of you guys right now on your social media follow travel influencers, travel pages, send reels or videos to your friends and family, or maybe just like looking at pictures on Google of beautiful destinations? If that is you right now, drop a number 1 in the chat. Okay. I'm not alone. I'd be looking at beautiful destinations all the time. My girlfriend sends me all these things all the time. And so maybe you're thinking to yourself, hey, you want to travel, but you think A, traveling is expensive, B, booking trips is hard and complicated. Maybe you feel like you literally have to go into debt to travel, or you think that you have to stay in timeshares to travel, you have to stay in hostels, you have to be in some deep connections with hotel industry people, or you have to really travel frequently. And so my question is, right, is what if we could show you how to go on these amazing adventures for less than the price of an dinner date without having to go into any debt, in a way that's actually going to improve your finances without using budget airlines, hostels, Airbnbs, or timeshares. And we offered extensive proof that this is not some, travel scam. Right? If we could remove every obstacle for you, would you travel more? I want you to just think about that. Yes or no? I would assume a lot of you guys, yes. And then if you said yes to yourself, drop the first place that you want to travel to. Where would you go? Drop that place in the chat. I already know I saw a few people in here put what place. I think one person said Istanbul. I want to know, what's that place that you would go? Like, what's that destination? So we got Aruba, Hawaii, Scotland, Amsterdam. Man, we got a lot of good ones. Phuket. I like Aruba. I would definitely go to Aruba for sure. So the thing is, right? you might laugh, right? This is a photo of Josh Josh on the left from 6 years ago, and somehow I was that dude on the right. Trying to dig out of snow for my people out in the Northeast right now. You probably understand what this feels like. For my guys out in Miami, you've probably never seen snow. Well, ultimately, right, 6 years ago, that was us, right? We were the people that would watch others travel. I'd hop on my phone, look at all these beautiful pictures of amazing places all over the world, and I'd always tell myself that it was too expensive, or that it was really just for other people, right? And I would maybe go on a vacation or a few trips a year. But really, the thing is, every time I did, it always felt so expensive. And it just felt financially irresponsible that I was literally going into debt to travel. And so I kind of just stopped traveling. And then the thing is, one day I was scrolling through social media and I realized, like, man, every time I'm looking at these really cool destinations, I felt that I was living vicariously through others. Instead of living the life that I wanted to live, I was watching other people do it and I was dreaming about being that person. Like, I wasn't even living my own life. I was literally living the person of the video that I was watching all day, every day. And so one day it just kind of hit me like, hey, my life wasn't going to change. And I was afraid that if I was going to continue spending my life how it is, never having lived, never having gotten to travel the world, and I really ultimately didn't want to die knowing that I was going to spend my life, again, living vicariously through everyone else that I was watching on social media. I wanted to have these amazing experiences myself. But the thing is, at the time, it was way too expensive, thousands of dollars, even hundreds of dollars, right? It all seems super complicated, and it would have been just irresponsible. And ultimately, I just didn't think it was possible, right? If you guys can kind of relate to where I was 6 years ago, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you guys can, maybe you can't relate to all of that, but if you can kind of relate to where I was 6 years ago, just give me like a thumbs up or like a yes or like a Y, like something, if you can relate to any part of that. All right, that's good. That's good. That means I wasn't alone. That means I wasn't alone because I felt so alone. I felt like nothing else. I was the only person that feels that way. So that's good that you guys, there's that saying, misery loves company. I was a little bit miserable. And so the thing is, it sucks wanting something that we felt we couldn't have. I don't know about you guys, but it sucks wanting something that you feel is out of reach. And that's exactly why in today's call, we're going to show you exactly how to use credit to travel so you can get those first-class flights. I know someone talked about that, wanting that, right? Access those high-end resorts and hotels, right? And by the end of today's training, you're going to know how to travel in luxury at a fraction of the price for the rest of your life by hacking the credit system. And so allow me to introduce myself, right? Some of you guys might know me, some of you guys might not, right? I'm Chris. That's Josh over there drinking some champagne in caviar, right? And we're known as the Credit Brothers. And we've been leveraging our credit to travel the world for the last 5 years, even before the Credit Brothers ever existed. And so you're going to meet a lot of people on the internet that claim to teach finance, claim to teach credit, claim to teach travel. And the reality is they have really nothing at all to back it up. And so meanwhile, my brother and I have built the biggest brand teaching in the entire credit space. We have over 1 million followers on social media, over 54 million views in just the last 12 months, and have over 100 plus 5-star Google reviews on the internet. While also simultaneously being featured in Times Square with a billboard and being awarded the 2024 FinTalk Award for Best in Credit Education. And the thing is, right, we've been able to help not just ourselves save hundreds of thousands of dollars, but we've also been able to use what we know now to help our friends and family travel in luxury without having to break the bank. And here's some of the people that we've helped along the way, right? This screenshot in the top left, they saved $1,200 to $400, right? They saved $800. Charlie said this was literally the best decision of his life. Marcus down there in the bottom left, dude saved $60,000 to $70,000 with the exact same information that you guys are learning here today. And so the thing is, right, it all comes down to one decision. 6 years ago, my brother and I knew nothing about traveling. We were what you would call, travel wishers, I guess is a good name for it. Scrolling through social media, looking at all the cool places that we wish we could travel to. And then we made the decision, right? One day we made a decision to learn about credit. These days, right? You guys see us on social media. We're traveling all the time to the places that we want to go with and the people we want to go with. And the thing is, our students made the same decision to learn about credit, and now they're traveling all the time too, right? And so it all comes down to that one decision, right? It all comes down to, do you want to be on the left side or do you want to be on the right side? Now, what those sides look like, here's what the travel wisher looks like, right? You can just look at this. You can learn if you're on the left side or the right side. And so there's going to be an area where everyone's going to sit, right? And it's like, maybe you guys right now, you don't hate your lives, right? You don't hate your current position, but you also don't love it. You don't wake up going like, man, I can't wait to do X. Like they're kind of like on one side of the fence per se. Like it's comfortable, but again, you're just not super excited to live the exact same way that you're living for the next 10 years, 20 years, or maybe even the next 40 years, right? You kind of want that little bit more of excitement that travel can bring you. And if that's you, right? If that's where you kind of feel right now, give me a number 1 in the chat. Give me a number 1 in the chat if that's you. Because ultimately, right, the decision that you have to make today is if you're going to join us to become a travel hacker, right, and learn how to use the credit system for free, or if you want to continue living vicariously through others and stay a travel wisher, right? So there are a lot of people, Kunal, Vincent, Bobby. I think that's the same Bobby from the Instagram live. Could be wrong. It is live. I do remember. So a lot of people, right? So this is the question, right? Imagine if we never made the decision to learn about credit 6 years ago. Josh and I probably wouldn't be in the Credit Brothers. We probably would still be wishing we could travel more. But the thing is, since you're on today's training, you've already made that decision, right? Whether you've listed a 1, a thumbs up, a yes or no, right? You've already made the decision, and we're ready to help you go along that way. And so now is the time that you guys have all been waiting for, right? If you're ready to learn how you can go from a travel wisher, right, where Josh and I were, right, some of you guys might be there right now, to a travel hacker and finally start living your life with the freedom that you ultimately deserve, comment ready. Comment ready or fire emojis in the chat. We got a lot of readies, Josh. We got a lot of readies.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's get into some disclaimers, right? Because legally we don't have to say these things, but we're just kind of putting them here because it's kind of like the same thing that, it's like if you open up a car battery and it says don't lick it, sometimes you just need disclaimers, right? So number 1, go through this training as if you have a perfect credit score. So even if you don't, even if you have a 500 or a 400, you don't even have a credit score, right? Just think as you go through this as if you had a perfect score, right? You had a 750 and 800 plus. All right, number 2, none of these strategies require you to go to any unnecessary debt whatsoever. Everything we talk about is simply taking your current lifestyle and applying credit into it, right? It's not saying start spending a bunch of money you don't have or something like that. Number 3, we're going to talk about credit cards at some point. I'll remind you guys of this one, but don't go and apply for these things recklessly. Like you're just going to be doing yourself a disservice and very likely just putting yourself further behind the 8 ball. So don't go and apply for credit cards randomly. And then number 4, later on, we're going to be doing an interactive part to this training. So this is a both live and interactive training. Right. So number 1, we got to talk about the most important question that you can ask yourself, which is what type of traveler are you? Right. When it comes to travel hacking, there's really 3 options. Right. Are you a solo traveler or somebody that maybe travels just with friends? Right. So you're kind of more like a single traveler. Are you in a relationship with somebody, like a partner that you travel with, most frequently, kind of a player 1, player 2 strategy, or are you family? Do you have a partner and then some kids that you're typically traveling with? Right? Because based on your answer to that question, it's going to help you start to formulate what your ideal travel lifestyle looks like, right? Like a single person might, value traveling with friends and going to experiences and just trying to travel as much as they possibly can, right? Whereas a couple might be wanting to stay at just like a super high-end luxury hotel or resort for like a week and, splurge on some massages and romantic dinners and things like that. Whereas families might just be looking to try and save some money on flights, because you got to buy 3, 4, 5 tickets or something. For the hotel, you want to be able to try and get like a suite upgrade so that way you can save on how many rooms you need and kind of put the kids on like the couch sectioned area, and then you kind of still have your bedroom for you and your partner, right? And then really just take a lot of the money that you're saving and pour that into fun activities for the kids, right? You either way, whichever person you are, maybe you're somewhere in between, right? Identifying your goals is going to be the best way to fast track your success, because it's going to be much harder to establish and book a vacation if you really don't understand what your vacation ideally looks like, right? So simple enough, but how can you actually start travel hacking? Well, so this is how most people book travel. Most people book travel because they scroll through websites and they try and find the best deals, and they're on Groupon, and they're in some random Facebook group that says, hey, you could save 30% if you go to this website or whatever, and you're just kind of scouring the internet for stuff, right? Not really something that's in your control. But how you should be booking travel is something that we call the Travelmore system, which is really just 3 parts. Number 1, it's going to be called getting right credit cards. Number 2, earning the right points. And number 3, maximizing the value of those points. Pretty simple. So let's talk about the 3 types of rewards that you can earn, right? First, we have bank points, but I want to make an asterisk here and say these are bank points that are non-transferable. So they're bank points that live within the ecosystem of the bank and they don't live anywhere else, meaning Discover, US Bank, Bank of America, literally any credit union. Doesn't matter if it's Navy Federal, if it's Alliant, if it's some local credit union to your town, right? Any credit union fits into this category and they earn points, right? But they're just non-transferable, and that'll make more sense in a little bit. Then you have loyalty point or program cards. These are things like airline cards, hotel credit cards, right? So if you have a Delta card by American Express or a Hilton credit card, right? These are credit cards that earn specific loyalty points for a particular program, right? And you can only use those points or miles within that program in specific, right? And then number 3, we have the cream of the crop, which is bank points that are transferable. So these are from the big boys that we like to talk about a lot, especially if you follow us, which are going to be Chase, American Express, Capital One, Citibank, Wells Fargo recently got added to this list. And then there's the Bilt credit card, which is technically a Wells Fargo card as well. These are points that can be moved around and they can shift, right? It might be a Chase point, but the Chase point can become something else, right? And those are the ones that we want to focus on, right? So ultimately why they're the best is because they allow you the most flexibility and options when you travel. Number 2, it allows you to get the most value from your points, because when you're able to shift them around, that's how you can find the pockets where you get the most value from them, rather than just having to use them in a very specific way. You get a lot of options. And then one thing that I always like to note is that these don't expire. If you have loyalty points or miles with an airline or a hotel, these could expire in a year, 2 years, or, if you don't use them or if you don't earn more, right? As long as you just have the credit cards open, they're not going to expire on you. Right, so let's talk about credit cards before, I get into some of them. Don't just go and start applying for these all at once, right? If you see a bunch of them or 1 or 2 and you're like, well, I don't have those, let me just go and apply. I don't do that. Like there's a lot of reasons why, but ultimately I'm trying to save you guys some headache. So the right credit cards that you should have, right, because they're not all created equal, but these are the right ones. A lot of them we talk about on our page are going to be things like the Chase Sapphire Preferred, any of the American Express Gold, Platinum, or Green cards. The Citi Strata Premier used to be called just the Citi Premier. Now they've rebranded it to the Strata Premier. Right? We have the Venture X. We have the Bilt credit card, which, by the way, is the only credit card that you can pay rent with. Right? These are the right credit cards because they allow you to earn points that are transferable. Right? Remember when I was talking about flexibility and getting the most value from your points, things like that. Right? These are the ones that you want to have. And in order to get these cards, you need to make sure you have the following dialed in, right? You need to have a 680 plus FICO score. You need to have at least one credit card that's not one of these travel cards prior, right? So maybe it's a Discover secured card that turned unsecured, like whatever it is, you need to have at least one card open and active prior to trying to go after these cards if you want an actual shot of being approved. And then most notably, you have to have no negative items, right? No collections, no charge-off accounts, things like that. And then lastly, this is specific to Chase, but if you're somebody that opens up a lot of cards on a regular basis, there's a rule called 524 rule. And if you try and ask Chase about this, they're going to tell you it's not true, or, oh, we don't know anything about that. But it's pretty well known that there's this 524 rule. So if you've opened up 5 or more credit cards in the last 24 months, it doesn't matter if you have a perfect 850, right? You're going to get denied for a Chase credit card if you apply for it. So you have to be very mindful of that. And that's, again, why I'm saying don't go out and rush and apply for a bunch of cards, because if you forget about these types of rules or you weren't aware of them, you could just be getting outright denied, or you could be setting up your sequence incorrectly, meaning the order in which you apply for the right credit cards is not going to be ideal. So again, if you don't have any of those cards, don't go recklessly apply for them. But these are the things you need to keep in mind when it comes to thinking about applying for these cards.
Which is going to bring us to the next thing, which at some point, right, you guys are going to have the credit cards, right? I already see somebody got some. You're going to ask yourself, how do I actually earn these points that you speak of? Well, number one, right, there's a couple different ways. The most common way is to spend money, right? Spending money using the right credit cards for the right spending is going to help you earn as many points as possible. Number two are welcome offers, aka sign-up bonuses. This is where you can earn a lot of points, 50, 100, 200,000 points, all at one clip by opening a new credit card, spending a certain amount in a certain time period, and then you get a lot of points at once. And then you have the third one, which is bank point programs, meaning you use online shopping portals like Rakuten or AA, or hey, when you link your Uber and Marriott account, you're going to earn points, vice versa. And so there's a couple ways that you're going to be able to earn points. And so now is the most important part, right? It's because you need to understand how much your points are actually worth. And so I want to point out what I said earlier. This is interactive. Dan, you better be ready, right? Make sure you have something. If you need to do this, make sure you have something to write on in a calculator. You can use a phone, you can use a calculator if you're old school, but you need a pen, you need something to write on, and you need something to calculate. Unless you're an absolute whiz with math, you probably could skip the calculator, right? So what I want you to do is I need you guys to think about, right? I'm going to go through this example, right? But this is where we're going to be writing things out. Number one, step one, take an estimate of how much money you spend on a credit card every month between personal and business credit cards. So think about that number and write it down in step one. All the numbers that I'm using in this example are what I was spending. This is what I was spending just a couple years ago, right? So that first thing, I was spending $2,000 all on personal. I didn't have a business at the time. So you're going to have a number in step one. Step two, I want you to take that number that you wrote in step one and multiply it by 12. This is going to get your annual credit card spend. So for me, it was $2,000. Multiply it by 12 is $24,000 in a year that I was spending on credit cards, right? This might be a little bit higher. This might be lower. This is going to be whatever number you wrote in step one, multiply that by 12. Step three, we're going to multiply the number by 2. And this is because with the right credit cards, this is the average amount of points per dollar that you'll be earning on your spending. So I had $24,000, multiplied that by 2. I should be earning about 48,000 points per year, right? Everyone still with me? We're going nice and slow through this. Step 4, I want you to take this number and add 200,000 to it. And this is to account for new sign-up bonuses on new credit cards that you may be opening each year, as well as a bunch of other strategies that we teach on how to earn extra points. Right? So this was 48,000 from step 3 plus my 200,000 equals 248,000. Can I just get a thumbs up or a 1 in the chat if everyone is with me up to this point? Samuel said yes on what we just did. We took our total spend across personal and business, wrote it down, multiplied that by 12, got the annual spend, multiplied that by 2 to get our total points, added 200,000 to get our total points, including all the extra points. Perfect. Lots of ones. I want you to drop the number that you had written down in step 3 in the chat. I want you to do 2 things. Number 1, write the number that you had in step 3 down in the chat. So for me, it was 48,000. For me, it was 48,000. I want to see some numbers in the chat. While you're also doing that, I want you to draw, whatever you're writing on, put a line down the middle so you have a space on the left and a space on the right. Dan has a whopping 300,000 from step 3. Wow. Sonny, 50,000. Kunal, 36. Austin, 96. A lot of 50,000s, 30,000s, 96,000s. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, draw a line so you have a space on the left of your paper or pad and a space on the right. On the left-hand side, I want you to take the number of points from step 4 and multiply it by 0.05. So for me, it was 248,000. Multiply that by 0.05. This is the amount of free travel that you should be earning every single year. Every single year you should be earning. In this example, for me, I was at the time $12,400 of free travel that I should have been earning every single year. Right? On the right side, I want you to take the initial spend. I think it was in like step 2 or step 1. The initial spend, it was $2,000 or so. Yeah, step 2, 24,000 because it's a year. And I want you to multiply that number by 0.02, right? This is what you would be earning if you put all of your spend on the best cashback credit card. If you had a Citi Double Cash, if you're a cashback person, if you took that 24,000 or whatever that dollar value is for annual spend you put on a cashback credit card, that's how much cash back you'd be earning. So the 24,000 I was spending was only going to earn me $480 in cash back. Now to get the true number, right? We're all about true numbers, right? We don't BS people. We need to subtract the number from step 5, which is our free travel, minus the number as if we had cash back to get our real value of what our points are worth. So for me, it was 12,400 minus 480 came out to $11,920 a year. Now, I want you to drop your number of how much free travel you should be earning specific to you inside the chat. And in the second thing, right, after you drop your number in there, I want you to drop how many more years you intend to travel. Like maybe you're a little bit older and you only expect to travel for 5 more years. Maybe you're a little bit younger and you expect to travel for 30 more years, right? Put that number in the chat, right? So Mike, 12,700, right exactly at what I'm at, 13,800. Austin, some pretty solid numbers. I don't know about you guys, but Mike wants to travel for 20 more years. Connor, 11,600. Kunal wants to do another 5 years. Beautiful. So the people that are writing your numbers in here, Brian, another 20. Nicole, 13,000. She just knocked them both out at the same time. 40 years. Okay. Whatever number that you have in your mind, right? Some of you guys wrote it in here. Some of you guys might have in your mind. I want you to take the number that you have in step 7 and multiply that number, right? So Mike, you're going to multiply 12,790 times 20. Nicole, you're going to take 13,840 times 40. Kumar, you're going to take your 11,000, multiply it by, I think 10 years is what you meant to write there. And that's going to be how much money over the course of your lifetime that you should be earning every single year. Now, big question is, how many people, just from step 7, right? How many people are getting that amount of travel right now, currently, today? I would expect it's probably a no, but how many people are, if you are getting it, congratulations to you. You're crushing it. Maybe you could come up and help run this next time. But how many people are actually able to get the amount of travel that they wrote out right now? Not even close. Okay. So if it's not even close, that's good, because that means you're learning, right? That means that you know what's possible. You know what's possible, but you're not there yet, right? If you're already there, you're flying, right? But if you're not there, that means you know what's possible and you have room for improvement, which is the goal, right? That's the goal. And so again, right, this is how much free travel you should be getting. And if you're not, you're leaving all this money on the table by not using what we developed, which is the Travel More system. And so really, every year that you don't decide to change anything, you're losing out on tens of thousands of dollars, right? Some of you guys are like hundreds of thousands of dollars. right? And I want to show you a quick example, right? This was a flight that Josh and I took last year. Cash cost of this flight was $3,851 one way. If we were to use American Express points, it was going to cost a crazy amount of 349,000 points. We used 60,000 Air Canada miles, which because of our Travel More system had saved us over 80%. We saved 80% of our points by using the same system that Josh and I developed, right? And so how most people use credit cards is they just use these credit card points to redeem them for gift cards, which is the absolute worst thing you can do. If there's one thing that you can take, do not use your points for gift cards. The second worst thing to do is using them for statement credits, right? It is better than a gift card, but it's just bad. Just don't do it, right? The third thing is maybe you're using the travel portal, right? Chase travel portal, Citi, Amex, doesn't matter which travel portal. This is like the beginner level of travel hacking, right? You think it's good, but in reality, it's not. And I'm going to prove to you why it's not. And the thing is, before we do that, we have to understand a key metric, which is called cents per point value. CPP is an acronym, but cents per point value, right? Points are kind of like foreign currency. The US dollar may be worth more than the Canadian dollar, but less than the euro. And like foreign currencies, the value of your points fluctuate. So it's essential to know and stay up to date with what those values are. And according to credit card companies, they're going to tell you that all of your points are worth 1 cent per point, which is just completely false. And so how much are your Amex points worth, right? Because you're like, oh, well, hey, Chris, hey, Josh, I have American Express points and they have a lot of them. How much are they worth? Well, I want to prove to you, right? If you go into your American Express portal and you try to redeem them for gift cards, they're going to give you 1 cent per point. They're going to give you a gift card. Yip-de-doo. Well, hey, maybe you want to go to, Walgreens and pay at the register with your points. Not good, man. They're only going to give you $70. They're going to take 30% off the top. And maybe you're like, man, I just spent a bunch of money for Christmas and I don't want to have to pay my statement at the end of the month. I'm going to use my points so I get free Christmas gifts. Man, they're going to take 40% from you. They're not even going to give you the baseline of 1 cent per point, right? And so how do you calculate cents per point? It's really, really simple. Number one, you got to look at the cash value. You need the cash value of the flight or the hotel. Number two, you need to look at the credit card point value, inside the travel portal of that flight or hotel. Then you're going to go to the flight or the hotel's specific website and see how many miles or points that specific flight or hotel will cost. And then you're going to use this equation. You're going to put the cash value divided by the points or miles multiplied by 100. That is going to give you your CPP or cents per point value. It's a key metric. It's very, very important that you guys, if you need to screenshot this, you screenshot this. And so here's an example, right? Hyatt Regency, Miami. I know we have at least someone out here in Miami. Hyatt Regency, great hotel. Cash cost of this hotel is $356. If we used our credit card points to book this hotel through the travel portal, it would be 35,600 points. That's a 1 cent per point value. But understanding and using the Travel More system, we understand that if we transfer our Hyatt points, our Chase points into Hyatt points, we can get a 2.37 cent per point value. How many people, if they could get a 2x ROI in the stock market, every single time they put money in there, would do that? I would bet you 100% of people in this call today would do that every single day. Why are you not doing that with your credit card points? Why are you accepting less? Right? And this is not a trick question. This is a real question. There's no right or wrongs here. What do you think is better? Do you think hotel and airline points or miles are better? Or do you think credit card points are better? Right? Which one do you guys think is better in the chat? I said no wrong answers here. This is not a trick question. Credit card points, CC points, credit card. Hotel, airline. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Sonny. Thank you, Mike, for being real here. I think people always think these things are trick questions and always write like the thing that they don't really initially think, and then they write something else in there. Beautiful. Well, here's an example, right? On the top left, you have the Hilton Surpass card giving 165,000 points. In the bottom right, you have the Chase Sapphire Reserve giving 60,000 points. On the surface, you might think having 165,000 Hilton points has got to be worth more than 60,000 Chase points, right? It is more points, but you're actually wrong, right? Here's an example, right? We know how to calculate that cent per point. This hotel room for Hilton, cash cost is $429. Credit card points is 90,000. You would need 90,000 Hilton points to book this exact same hotel, meaning your cent per point value is 0.48. Guys, you can literally get a statement credit from American Express for 0.6. Why would you be redeeming your Hilton points for 0.5? Why would you be putting $1 into the stock market to get 50 cents back? No, we're trying to get $2 back. And so here's another example, right? This is the Miami one, right? This is from earlier, right? Just like I said, right? You can actually book Hyatt hotels using Hyatt points and move those Hyatt points from Chase. Let me explain. We gotta see a giant pyramid on the screen here. At the top of the pyramid, you have transferable point credit cards. If you guys were paying attention earlier when Josh was going through this is going to make a lot of sense. If you weren't, you're going to be a little bit lost. At the top of the pyramid, we have transferable point credit cards. At the bottom, we have hotel and airline specific credit cards. Points can go down the pyramid and be transferred into hotels and airlines. This does not work backwards. Airline and hotel points cannot go up the pyramid. So transferable points can always go down and be spread out, not vice versa. And to kind of help contextualize this, these are transfer partners, airline and hotel partners with different credit cards. The thing is, not all credit card partnerships are equal. Having access to at least one of these is crucial. Having access to multiple is ideal. I know this looks super complicated of all the transfers on the left side. That's why the system is made to be there, to be complicated. So you guys don't understand, but you guys are on this call right now to make this make sense. And so here's another example, right? This was a flight that Josh and I took again last year from Frankfurt, Germany to Chicago. We flew Lufthansa first class, which is one of the nicest first class airlines in the entire world. Cash cost per person, $8,631.60. If we wanted to book this through American Express, it was going to be 863,160 points. We booked it for 100,000 miles, running it through our cent per point calculation that we gave to you. And using the Travel More system, we got 8.6 cents per point. Remember earlier when I had you guys calculate how much your points are worth at 5 cents per point or 0.05? I'm showing you proof that you can get over 5. You can get 8, right? Imagine if you're getting 8, how much more free travel you'll have access to, right? And so the bottom line is, right, you need to look at the base value of your chosen travel currency, right? We assign a base value of 2 cents per point, 2 CPP. To calculate the cents per point value of the trip you're planning to use using the equation that we provided. And 3, if it's the CPP or cents per point is higher than a 2, right, the base value, then you're getting a good deal. If it's not, you're getting screwed, right? You're just not getting a good deal. And so now let's put this all together, right? How to book your next vacation for free in about 20 minutes of work. Number 1 is you have to define what type of traveler you are and how you want to travel. Super, super important. Number 2 is you need to pick where you want to go, right? How do you put a trip together if you don't know where you want to go? Number 3 is you have to identify what credit card programs you have access to. You have to look at the partners of those credit card programs to find the flights and the hotels using your credit card points. You have to look at the cash value of Google, the Google flights or the hotel website to find the cash value, right? And then you need to calculate your CPP ratio to determine if you're getting a good deal or a bad deal. If it's a good deal, beautiful, book the trip, you're winning, right? And so in summary, you just learned the key strategies to travel hack like a pro, earning the points, maximizing the value, and booking luxury trips without breaking the bank. Imagine how much money you'll be saving literally just off this training today.
Yeah, I know my imagination is running absolutely wild. And I know a ton of people mentioned they weren't getting the value out of their points earlier when you were going through that live breakdown. So just to imagine being able to actually capture that much savings is pretty insane. So I know that Chris has been jamming for a while, and I want to check in with you guys. Are you guys happy that you came to this class today? I mean, we've been together for about 45 minutes right now. You're taking your time out of a Thursday evening. Could be doing a bunch of other stuff, but you're here learning about travel hacking and credit cards and the system and all that. So just drop a 1 or let me know. Like, are you happy that you have spent these last almost hour with us hanging out? I see Lupe here. Absolutely. Connor's like, let's go. Benjamin, Natalia, love it. And don't worry, guys, we're not quite done yet. We're not quite done yet. But can you guys see how much money you can save when you use the Travelmore system? Like, obviously, this is something that Chris and I have been doing for a number of years, and obviously we put it together, right? So it's very clear and obvious to us. But checking in with you guys, can you see it? Like, is there some clarity into this kind of mystic world of again scrolling on your phone, seeing people take these trips? Like, how is that happening? Like, you're starting to see how that's happening. How people that don't make millions of dollars every single year are still able to stay at like 5-star luxury resorts or fly first class, right? Because that's the big thing, right? You guys came, you spent your time with us. We want to make sure that you guys are actually understanding and taking away something from all this. All right. Awesome. Love to see it. So the reality is that everything we taught you here today is absolutely something you can do on your own. But here's the thing, right? Is that with the right guidance, most people, they make mistakes, right? They waste points, they waste time, they give up because the process feels overwhelming, right? And again, that's with no guidance, right? So ultimately, you need a system and a community to help you stay on track, help get you the results faster, right? So that's why we created the Credit Club. That's our way of helping make travel hacking easier, stress-free, something that you can do more often for people just like you. Because it's not just a training, it's not just a 1-hour training or something. It's a complete membership that gives you everything you need to succeed. Right. And here's everything that you'll get if you were to join the Credit Club today. Right. So number 1, you're going to get weekly coaching calls with us where we deep dive on trips and all sorts of things that are coming to mind. This is something that we do every single week. You can check that out, in the calendar section. Right. You're going to be able to earn points like a pro. So we have students that are literally earning over 70,000 American Express points or 45,000 American Express points for just $24 to spend. Right. You don't need to spend tens of thousands of dollars to get tens of thousands of points. We show a lot of strategies and particularly spending optimization strategies as well to maximize the points that you're earning so you can put that into the trips that you want to take. Right, you're going to get a private community of like-minded travelers sharing tips, wins, and ultimately helping each other out. Right, so you can make a post and say, "Hey, I want to book an American Airlines trip for Christmas because my mom's coming into town. How can I do it?" And it's not just us that pop in. We have other community members that understand intimately how to do these things, and they support each other. They also share how they just get little wins. Whether it's bonus miles from buying miles, from different sites, or whether it's, point transfers and bonuses they get that way, right? There's things coming in every day from the community, right? You're also going to get access to software and tools that we use to actually make travel hacking a lot less painful, right? We don't want to spend 3 or 4 hours trying to search all through all these websites and stuff to find a deal. If we could just leverage a software tool to get it done in a few seconds. So we share the exact ones that we use as well. Right. And then you're also going to get full walkthroughs of literal travel hacks that we've done. I mean, we did a recent coaching call where we broke down how we stayed at a 5-star luxury resort in Mexico with 10 of our friends. We literally broke it at everything from the moment we got into the Uber ride in the US all the way to, the transportation there, the flights, the hotels, all of it, right? And then little things too, like how I paid $11.20 for a round trip flight, to and from New England. That would have cost me $1,000. I make posts about that stuff too. So to sum it all up, I mean, that value already is pretty insane. But as a bonus, I want to give you guys something to help get your credit right. Because like I said earlier, right, not everybody has perfect credit, but we have a lot of members that come into this community and they go from bankruptcy to literally an 800 FICO score, or they literally get to an 850 because they're able to understand far more intimately how they need to build and structure their credit profile to rebuild it, build it for the first time, and ultimately get to a point where they can say, I have amazing or even perfect credit, right? So that's going to be a little bonus that we call our credit optimization toolkit. You're also going to get exclusive access to our travel concierge. So if you want to pay a little bit of money to just have somebody do it for you, right? You're like, hey, I've got a bunch of points. This is the trip I want to take. You go search it, figure it out, right? We have access to one of the least expensive travel concierges on the market. Typically, these things cost anywhere from $500 to $1,000 plus to have a concierge search and book these travel deals for you. Our community members get an insane deal because of a partnership we have with one of the best guys out there. So you're going to get access to a travel concierge as being a part of the club as well if you want to take advantage of that. And then lastly, in case you're a business owner or you just want to learn how to leverage your credit to do some awesome stuff, we have a personal and business funding blueprint. So whether it's trying to get 0% interest money for your business or trying to get access to funding on the personal side so you can do some stuff, we literally show you how to get $40,000 to over $150,000 of funding for both yourself and for your business. Pretty awesome stuff. So to sum that all up, right, we're looking at over $6,000 of value, right? And we've spent years learning everything that we put into the credit club. So we'd have, I mean, seriously, like along the way, we've helped thousands of people build their scores to an 800 plus, access millions of dollars of funding, and save several hundreds of thousands of dollars per year on travel, right? So we'd have no problem charging over $6,000 for this program, but we're not going to charge you $6,000. That's crazy, right? Today's price is only $1,250. If you were joining our Inner Circle program, which is what we used to charge for this. Literally earlier this year, we had hundreds of people join at exactly that price point, over $1,000 that they had to pay all up front, right? So today's price is only $97 a month, right? A lot better. And actually, I got to stop lying to you guys because it's not $97 a month because you're here on this training, right? And that's normally what we charge. But since you came to this class, I'm going to sweeten this deal even more. So to sum it all up, right, you're going to get everything from the live coaching calls to the private community to all the bonuses to the tools and the software that we use, all for a low price of $47 a month or $397 for the year, which I'm going to talk a little bit about why the annual might just be the best thing for you in a second here. Because here's the thing is if you join in the next 15 minutes, we're so confident that you're going to get an insane amount of value from joining this community that we're going to give you 7 days for free. So that way you can actually try it before you buy it. Right. And these are the results that our members are getting, which are absolutely insane.
The link is live. The link is live right now. So you should see something on your screen right now to take advantage of the free trial. So if you see that, you can click it, you can click through. It's going to be live for the next 15 minutes before price goes back and the trial goes away.
Yeah. And ultimately, if you join the group, that's how you're going to be able to get some incredible successes like these students that we have that are taking free cruises, that are, getting free business class tickets, that are getting a free travel from Amex. I mean, all this sorts of stuff, whether it's getting extra money, just every single month, just using your credit, whether it's increasing your score 100 points in 3 weeks, getting a bunch of American Express points for basically nothing, right? These results are insane. But let's get serious and let's actually break this down. So number one, can you actually do this? I'd say you can download an app. I'd also say that you could apply for the credit cards that you need, that you can use those credit cards for your expenses the way that you should. And I also say, hey, you can spend those points to book travel in the way that we outline. And then ultimately you can get support and help if you need it, right? So to sum it all up, you're getting all of this stuff for literally 7 days free if you want it. Or you could just opt for the annual and get some awesome stuff in addition to everything that you would get on the monthly side. And number one, you're going to get access to the Vault. The Vault is where we put some advanced strategies, credit hacking, travel hacking in specific, how to get free cruises, things like that. We also are doing something called the Credit Hot Seat, where if you want us to deep dive your credit report, we'll actually review your entire report, give you a specific strategy, and pretty much outline how you can increase your score, better optimize your report, and pretty much you get the ability to apply to be a part of our credit hot seat, which is something that we do with the entire community, only if you're on the annual plan. And then you're also getting a special monthly VIP call that's only designated for those that are committed for the entire year, right? So there's absolutely insane amount of stuff. So ultimately, if you want to join the credit club, you can check out that link that my brother just posted in the chat. And then you're just going to do a few simple things. You're going to click that button that says start free trial. You're going to go ahead, enter your information. You're going to verify your email. You're going to choose your subscription. Again, I really suggest annual because you got to commit yourself for the year if you're really serious about this. Otherwise, you can start on the monthly, start on that free trial, and then basically you're in. So I already saw that Joseph said that he's in, but if you just joined, let me know. Let me see an I'm in the chat so we can make sure that technology didn't fail us and we get you into the community properly. And ultimately, as we promised, let's get into some Q&A because I'm sure a lot of people in here have questions. And just as a note for anybody that does join, we do offer onboarding calls. So that is the number one thing you want to do once you sign up is check out the calendar section, pick a time to join an onboarding call so that way you can get personalized advice on how you can get properly situated with everything inside of the group because there's a lot of stuff and maybe some of that stuff doesn't apply to you. Maybe some of it does. And we're here to help make sure that you actually get the value from the group once you join it. So without further ado, Chris, let's get into some Q&A, man.
Yeah, man. So I know a couple people have already joined. We got 11 minutes left. Like I said, the big difference, right? If you guys pick the free trial on this monthly versus the annual is going to save you an additional 30% on top of the 50% you're already saving. You're going to get access to the credit hot seat. The vault is all of our advanced credit strategies. So how to pay, things like how to pay your mortgage with a credit card, how to get over $6,000 of free cruises every single year, how to earn an extra 100,000 American Express points without opening new credit cards. The membership K is monthly or yearly. So monthly or yearly, there's no lifetime access in the membership. You're also going to get access to Credit Hot Seat. Credit Hot Seat is basically a one-on-one live consultation where we break down, literally it is all about you on the coaching call, right? You're also going to get access to the recordings and you're going to get access to our VIP call every single month on that yearly subscription, on the upgrade. And you can always upgrade after, but most people inside the community that are seeing wins are ultimately in the community for months. And if you're really in the community for more than like 3 months, mathematically it just makes more sense to go with the annual. That's where most people end up sitting is on the annual. They save them the most amount of money so they can use that extra money to make their travel a little bit more fun. So looks like how do you accrue points for Emirates Airlines? Well, Kunal, you just need again, you're not looking at how do you accrue points for Emirates, looking at how do you accrue points for transfer partners into Emirates. One of the transfer partners is American Express. So you should be looking at how do you accrue more American Express points? What's the best experience you've had experiencing first-class travel in luxury hotels? Man, it's probably could tell you all about that. I mean, definitely Lufthansa First Class is an experience like nothing other. One of the 5-star luxury hotels that we were just at in Mexico with our closest friends and family. We had 10 people of our closest friends and family with us, all travel hacked, every single one with couples. Nothing's better to travel than with your friends and family, in my opinion. Should I go sign up even though my credit isn't there yet? Renee, that's a perfect question. That's why we have our credit optimization blueprint, right? Credit optimization blueprint is in there. So if we're already working on your credit, then there's going to be a ton of supporting stuff already inside of the school community while we're working on your credit. Any websites you guys use for finding flights and hotels listed in points? Yes, Zach, we go over the ones that we specifically use and the ones that we don't, particularly like because we don't think and some of the ones we don't like are kind of big name. Like some of them are really, really big names that we don't really, really like because they kind of confuse the person that's trying to actually do this and they don't really make this easy. Seen a couple of different communities similar to this one, all focusing on specializing in different things. What separates yours from the rest and being a part of more communities better overall? I mean, hey, man, there's a lot of good communities out there. I'm not here to talk down on any communities. There's a lot of great communities, right? So, hey, you want to be a part of multiple? Always say more the merrier.
I mean, I would say one thing is that we actually won an award. We're an award-winning community. We're platform that we're on is ran by Alex Hermosi and Sam Ovens, and our community did so well that they actually flew us out to hang out for the day, and we got to meet him and jam about some stuff. So, I mean, I don't know if everybody, that you're already in or considering are also, award winners like us, but we've been doing this for a while. We run a really, really awesome community, and we've gotten some external recognition for it. But internally, we know how much value we bring to the table and how much success our members get, because it's not just travel hacking, right? It's all things credit.
It's not just again, the key thing to remember is the person that you're joining actually doing the thing they're teaching? Number one, how many other people have had success? How many other people have had success? What is their social media? What is the results outside of the community, right? We don't have to, we've been doing this for years and hundreds, thousands of results, right? All over the place, not even just in the community, on their social day to day, right? So can you post the formula again? Formula, Mr. DT is, I'm not going to be able to go back to it, but I can just verbally tell you.
Oh, is he looking for the cent per point formula?
Yeah. I have it. Okay, so it's going to be looking at the cash value of your flights. It's going to be cash value divided by the points or miles multiplied by 100. So you're going to take the cash value, divide that by the points or miles multiplied by 100. And there is a way easier way to do that inside the community. We have a little box thing where you just click the numbers in and it does it for you. But if you're going to do it manually, I'm all for learning how to do it manually. Then you can make this easier. Awesome. Congrats, Tom. So someone, let's see, what do we got for time here? We got 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Trials go away. Price goes back to $97 a month. So Tom, we have a business funding section inside of the community, a whole module teaching you how to build out your business credit and how to fund for your business. All in there. Personal and business funding is inside of the community on exactly how to do that. So someone who just started a company, what travel card should I get? And Keegan literally just went over a full call. I just did a whole live call last night on how to generate a bunch of points as a business owner using business credit cards. But there's a lot. Chase Ink Unlimited is a great initial option.
And yes, it would be under your personal name in the sense of you would personally guarantee the card that you open. So it would be for your business, but they would review and look intimately at your personal credit profile, which is why we outline exactly what you need to be looking for on your personal credit profile before you apply for something for your business. Because it's not the same. If you go and apply for a personal credit card, it's a lot different than a business credit card, but the similarity is that they look at your personal credit in both instances. So the steps would be, if you were in the community, you would go review your credit profile, see what you're missing, see what you already have. If you're missing anything, you would address that stuff, and then you can look at the variety of cards that we talk about. And then ultimately, it's more so a decision for you. We don't know how much money you spend or what you're buying for your business, right? So which credit card is right for you is a variety of different options. But if you get your profile straight and ready to apply, then pretty much the easiest step is picking the right credit card.
Yeah, so we got some questions in here again. Okay, so Renee, you said I get extra if I do yearly? Yes, you get instant access into the vault. The vault takes a little bit. You get instant access to potentially being on the credit hot seat. You also get access into our VIP monthly calls when we drop those. And so you're also going to innately save an additional 30%. Like if you just paid $47 a month for 12 months versus like the adjusted, you just save additional money there too. So that is there. Renee in the community will show us what cards to get correct. Yes, there's a whole section in there. Renee and everyone in here, make sure if you have joined, you join an onboarding call. In the onboarding call, like I said, once you join, you're gonna, which I'll go through in just a moment after this goes through for everyone that is joined. I'm gonna stay another about minute to make sure you guys are good to go. But yes, all of that is in there. You can ask live questions. You hop on coaching calls every single week to ask even more specific questions. There's like no way that you can't not get the question answered as long as you ask the question. Currently have 3 credit cards, including Chase Capital One and Discover. What credit card do you recommend to start up for travel? I mean, Ignacio, respectfully, I can't answer that question because I don't know what specific credit cards those are. I don't know what type of travel you're looking for. I don't know what you're comfortable for. I don't know what your current credit profile looks like. You join the community, you write out a good question for me in the community based off a format I give to others. More than happy to give you a very specific answer, but anything I give you right now is going to be very broad. If we have all the credit cards that was mentioned in the transferable section, we already got the sign-up bonus. Can we still get? Absolutely, Tara. And that's we literally just showed you an example of one of the strategies, man. If you get inside the vault, right, you can level up to the vault, which is going to take a little bit, or you can just, fast track your way in there. Then you'll be able to get the strategies that we talk about and how to earn a bunch of extra points without spending a whole lot and without opening up new credit cards. Do want to let you guys know we have 1:30 left on that link. That link's gonna go away. Let's pop back over here. All coaching calls are also recorded, Tom. All coaching calls are always recorded. It's all about those points. It's all about, it is. It's all about getting, the best, using the right credit cards with the right points, having the right strategies to even find the flights. Some of these flights are really, really difficult. Some of the things you're looking in the wrong place. There's timing, there's alerts, there's a lot of additional things that go into it. We didn't even talk about. We didn't even talk about the aspect of cruises. We didn't talk about the aspect of hotel, using cash, like when you actually go use real money, right? What if you're not getting a good deal with points? We didn't even start talking about how you could save more money on cash bookings, right? There's so much more. Right? I'm an artist and math always baffled me. Hey, Leslie, there's a lot of people that I'm sure in your exact same situation that's math isn't the top, right? Signed up, but will need to go much slower and explain in detail to me. Move fast to the program. Yeah, Leslie, the great thing about the community is you can move through it at your own pace, right? You don't have me whizzing through it. You can go through it at your own pace. You can watch the live calls. You can look through the live recordings. You can go through all the training modules at your own pace. So you can take it at any pace and step by step that you is most comfortable. And with that said, okay, so we are wrapping up. If anyone is checking out right now, I'm going to leave this up for another 30, probably like 2 minutes. For everyone that joined, congratulations on joining. Like I said, the first thing, the number one most important thing that you want to do is you want to make sure you join a onboarding call. So once you join, you're going to, number one, download the school app. Once you download the school app, you're going to then go into Classroom, right? Classroom is going to be at the top of your screen. I'm going to unblur my screen so you guys can see this. You're going to go to Classroom, which is at the top, and you're going to click this module, and you're going to go through it. It's going to teach you exactly everything you need to know to have that first success. Our next live coaching call inside the community is in the calendar section, right? But the first thing you need to do is join an onboarding call. The most success you can have is joining that onboarding call. You are going to get how to make sure you have success in the community, where to find things, what you should be focusing on, what you shouldn't be focusing on, right? How to ask questions, how to get to help, how to do all the things that you ultimately want help for that are specific to you to have success in the community and really help you win, whether it's in travel hacking, building personal credit, getting access to personal funding, business funding, all of the above. So with that said, guys, I'm going to leave the link open for another couple of minutes to let a couple more people, if they're in the middle of the checkout, that way they can get access to it. And everyone else that joined, I expect to see all of you guys, all the new members, on the next coaching call, which is going to be next week. And like I said, I remember people's names. So have a great night, guys. Enjoy.